Hey guys, I'm testing this out. Okay. If you're seeing it, I like the way it turned out. If not, here we are. First, I want to welcome you to the River of Wellness podcast. My name is Samantha, LCSW. I am medical social worker by day, private practice owner by night, aspiring philanthropist in the meantime, in between time, and also a creative. We're here. So, here in this podcast, I've tried to do this multiple times, and I guess it is the will of God that those episodes got deleted. Because here we are, starting afresh and anew. But we are here. So, the River of Wellness podcast is an extension of my private practice, River of Wellness LLC, correct? Um, and the premise behind my business and this podcast is to promote wellness in all areas of your life. Okay. So there are eight dimensions of your wellness. Let's go through. I'm using an infographic that I have off of my own Instagram. Okay. You can follow at river.of.wellness. Okay. Instagram. So the eight dimensions of wellness are occupational, physical, intellectual, spiritual, environmental, social, emotional, and financial. So that's where I try and hit. Those are the areas I try and hit in my business. And then I also feel like there's some things that I can't necessarily say to my clients all the time. That I also want to talk about on here, or just things that I'm going through in hopes that it helps somebody. Amen and amen. So that's why we're here to discuss the eight dimensions of your life on a regular basis. Okay. I'm going to try for a monthly basis. We're going to do a monthly podcast. So here we are. What sparked me to pick up the microphone, press record, and figure out what to do today? Actually, let me start here. So I'm coming upon my 33rd birthday, okay? Um, and I want to take a hold of my health. So my doctor wants me to lose weight. He wants me to do all these things, right? So I took the initiative, signed up to see a nutritionist that I will see at the end of August, and I met with a personal trainer today. So while I was sitting with the personal trainer, I although I was having a conversation with her, I was also having an internal conversation with myself regarding my finances, right? So I'm there for my health, but I'm also dealing with my finances within myself, because she's giving me her recommendations, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like a lot, miss, but I can do this. And while I was driving home, I was like, really what the problem is, that you just lack discipline. Okay, you lack discipline in a lot of areas, which then affects this area. So, discipline with like eating, lack discipline with fitness. So that's just overall lack of discipline with my health, lack of discipline with my boundaries, with certain areas with myself, and lack of discipline in my finances, which all leads to me trying to figure out what I can afford with this trainer. But the fact of the matter is, I still need the trainer, because if I could have done it myself, I would have done it by now. Okay, but I can't. So here we are. We need help. So I'm going to staff these areas of my life. Not the cleaning, not the cooking, not those things. I'm going to staff these areas of my life to make myself better. That's what I'm looking at right now. So really, in my 33rd year, I really feel like it's about discipline for me. Mainly probably physically. I've been working on the other things, but this is the thing to tackle right now. So, what have I been working on thus far? What are the areas that I feel like I'm doing pretty okay with right now? Occupational is always an area that I feel like I'm doing well, to the point where we were overachieving and flying too close to the sun, right? Um, but we have balanced that out. Okay. I'm definitely a person that always had multiple jobs, had multiple internships, just doing too much, going to school, and I got used to that rhythm, but you could burn out very quickly, okay? By the time I turned 30, I felt like I was 60 years old and have lived multiple lives because I had, and my jobs were stressful on top of it. Um, so even me trying to transition to a regular schedule and a lighter load, I still kept the job I was leaving. And I had three jobs. But recently, okay, this goes back to having boundaries and discipline. I let go of one of my jobs. So now I only have two. And it's manageable, it's doable, and it's good. So that's mainly an area that I'm always excelling at, always at a level 10. No issues with that area, really. Um, what else am I doing well in? I would say I'm doing well with my emotional health because I'm taking steps to make that better. Although I'm a therapist, your therapist should have a therapist to talk about the things that weigh her down or him down, them down on a regular basis. Really. They should. Because it's just I feel like it's good practice. You know, you don't necessarily grow well alone. And sometimes the people around you are not the best people to bounce things off of because they might have a limited perspective as well. So meeting with therapists can help you get some outside eyes and ears. You know what I'm saying? An outside voice. So I feel like there right now I'm taking a good hold of that and doing well. Spiritual. I think me and the Lord are good. Definitely could do more in that area, but we're working on it. Intellectual. Have picked up reading. Does that count for intellectual? For me, I think it does because after school, I kind of just threw it out the window. Also, researching a lot more like items for work, like more articles, just to be more knowledgeable about different topics. Social, we're thriving. You know, we were a hermit for our 20s because we were working and schooling. But I feel like my social area, she's coming together, girl. The dust is coming off of it. So we're good. Environmental. I feel like my environmental could use some work. More to come on that. We'll go through it week by week. Did I miss anything? I didn't. Those were the 8 areas. So the main area that I want to focus on right now is physical. I spent a lot of the years focusing on the other areas and putting too much energy into some areas like occupational. And right now is the time to get my physical in order to really be a better example to the clientele I work with now, right? So right now, I'm a medical social worker and I work in a cancer care center. And most of the clients know that I'm also a cancer survivor. But I think it's very hypocritical to continue the way I'm continuing and not taking more control over my diet and exercise and overall like physical wellness, while trying to coach these people through that part of their life while they're going through chemotherapy and stuff. So that I think that's another like reason that I'm having this push right now, which great. Love that for me. So when we talk about having discipline, and not we, okay, my friend and I, okay, shout out. When we talk about having discipline, it leads us into this area of talking about obedience, right? So discipline, probably more worldly and a little bit of spiritual, obedience, more spiritual. So yes, having discipline is good, but when you add in the spiritual, it is having a good hold of the things that you are given, being a good steward or good manager over those things in your life, right? So, like I'm saying now, all the things that I said I like discipline in that led me to have this war within myself while I'm having this conversation with the physical trainer, right? So, because I am not a good manager or not the best manager over aspects of my finances, I'm looking at her like, ooh, I would like to do that, but I can't do that right now. I can afford this, right? Because I'm not a good manager over my diet, I have to go now sign up with a nutritionist. Because I'm not a good manager of my, really my schedule, I'm unable to work out the as regularly as I would need to or as recommended, right? And then because I'm a poor manager over my boundaries with work and life balance, I can't work out. I just can't do it. So those are the things. So if you are a better steward over the things that are given to your body's given to you, your job is given to you, not work, but your finances are given to you, your family's given to you. All these things are like borrowed, right? You could have done things to like get them here, but some of the things are out of your control if you lose them. You know what I'm saying? But for your health, you have a little bit more control over that. Like you didn't give yourself your body, but you have a choice to be a good manager of your body, right? And not give into every whim and fancy that really your tongue, don't get me started, every whim and fancy that your tongue desires. Why does that set me on fire? Because there's a passage in the Bible. Hold on. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Okay. I also want to warn you that because I'm a church going woman, we might end up in the Bible a lot in this podcast. I don't really apologize for that actually. It might do a good time for you to learn something. Okay? It might. So let's see. Okay, so when I think of giving into every whim and fancy of your tongue, right? When I said that, I was really talking about your taste buds, but it brought this up to me, right? So in James 3:6, it says, among all the parts of the body, the tongue is a flame of fire. It is a whole world of wickedness, corrupting your entire body. It can set your whole life on fire, for it is set on fire by hell itself, right? And when I read that passage, I'm really thinking about the words that are coming out of your mouth, and how that can damage your life. But really also, your tongue is desiring something. Your tongue is what sends information to your body to your tongue is what sends information to your body to inform your desires. Wow. So if you give into every whim and fancy of your tongue, you will continue to desire those same things. So if you're always ingesting sugar, always ingesting what else? Salt, okay? Always ingesting the pastas, always ingesting, I don't know, cheese, even though in moderation. That's what you will desire. And it'll be very hard to break from those habits that you formed. I'm talking to myself, okay? That I formed to then make healthier choices. Not for really myself now, it's for myself now, but for my future self, for my 6-year-old self, okay? So in 33 more years, when I'm 66, what choices did I make now to help that person? Are we still going to be sitting here like trying to figure out what to do and who to meet with and what doctor and medication to be on? Or are we going to be thriving and able to move and doing great things? You know what I'm saying? I just took myself out with that revelation. I don't know if y'all got it, but I got it. Okay. And I'm going to have to call somebody to share with them. Anyways, a bird just hit the window. Anyways, so all this to say, for my first episode, I feel like I jumped in real hot, but it's because you are coming in the middle of a conversation that has been had multiple times. We have recorded this multiple times, and this is the one that's going to go out. So, again, sorry, not sorry, really. So all this to say, out of all the areas of your wellness, all 8 areas, Where are you being a good manager right now? And where could you be a better manager? That's where I'm going to leave you today.